Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings, get no hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready, forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up, weekdays, catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there, enjoying your day, making it positive, making it everything you need it to be and more. Sorry for the late start, but I was getting stuff together and it was all breaking news. I'm still trying to get some of this stuff together as we speak, but I am doing everything I can to give you guys this information that we have just found out just now. Okay. So we got some breaking news, guys. Or not breaking news, but some breaking news on this platform, on this story for me. Okay. And I want to say thank you so much to Raven for giving me the email about this, because had I not gotten this email, this probably would have flown right under my radar. But this is some very, very, very disturbing information that we need to talk about. Now, I will get into it and all that, but hopefully, just like Spin Cycle just said, hopefully you guys are all enjoying your Cinco de Mayo. If you're actually celebrating that, getting your shots of tequila in, or eating a burrito or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, hopefully you're enjoying it and doing it safely, okay, in your part or in your neck of the woods, okay? But this is a pretty quick one, okay? But this is just disturbing. And yes, I know everybody is sucked in on Letitia Stout, and I totally understand, okay? I totally understand. And of course, when a verdict does come out, we will be checking it out and we will be talking about it as a family. But of course, they're at the tail end of this mother lover. Okay. So I can only imagine what you're going through, Funky, just jumping back and forth. I can only imagine. But this is information that I think we all should know. It's very, very disturbing. So we're going to get into this right now. Some housekeeping. Please hit that like button down below. Send it past 300 likes as you guys start to file in. That would really, really mean a lot. Okay. Thank you. And for those of y'all who are hopping over from the Letitia Stout watch parties that you guys are respectively watching right now, hey, I appreciate you guys for being here. But if this is your first time checking out this show, please hit that subscribe button. That'd be greatly appreciated as well. Okay, let's get into this thing. Okay, like I said, this isn't a very long one, guys. Okay. But this is I was like, man, I need to hop on and give you guys this information. This is an incredibly disturbing information. I'm just telling you right now, I'm just making sure I have everything. This is absolutely disturbing. Let me repeat that one more time. This is absolutely sickening, disturbing, you name it. It is everything. I never thought like we would be talking like about this at all. And it's terrifying that stuff like this is actually happening or did happen inside this home of Jesse McFadden. Okay. Now, if you don't know who I'm talking about, I'm just a quick recap of everything. There were two teens. Okay. There were two teens by the name of Ivy Webster and Brittany Brewer. Okay. They are both 14. One's 14. One just turned 15 years old. Okay. They were both missing after they went to go spend the night over at Jesse McFadden's home. This is, of course, is Jesse McFadden right here. They did not return home Sunday night when they were supposed to go home. There was an Amber Alert issued the following morning on Monday, but it was quickly extinguished because as they were looking for these two young teens, Ivy and Brittany, they found in the back of the McFadden home, in the property, they found 7 bodies perished out in the fields of the McFadden residence. Now, they were able to quickly identify the two girls. They said, okay, Amber Alert is over because we have found them. These two have lost their life. And they said also that the man in the middle of that photo, that monster, Jesse McFadden, was also gone and found on the property. But of course, we are all wondering, what were the four other bodies? Who were the other four? Obviously, speculation went rampant, went wild out here in these internet streets, okay? Only to find out that the family that he was married to, that he married a woman named Holly, who already had 3 children. So he became a stepfather, okay? Those other bodies were that of his family that he married into, if that makes any sense. Of course, as we found out, and of course we see their names, Tiffany Guess, of course I just said Holly, but Holly McFadden, Michael Mayo, and Riley Allen, okay? All 4 gone, identified a day or 2 later by a medical examiner and all that. But as this story continued to unfold, we started to learn that Jesse McFadden is a very, very dirty, dirty man. A very, very dirty, dirty man. He was in prison for 20 years. He served time in prison for 20 years for R of a minor. While he was in prison, which he was sentenced to 20 years, but he spent 16 to 17 years in prison. I guess on good behavior? I don't know. But whilst he was in lockup, he was using a burner phone or a contraband phone, trying to solicit content from a then minor as well, then sharing that content to other people, maybe other prison inmates. I don't know. Maybe to the dark web. We don't know. But he shared all this content. Not only just obtaining that content, but he was sharing it. Now on Monday, he was supposed to show up in person in court for these charges of soliciting and having content from a minor. There was a text message that there was text messages that he was having with the victim, with the very victim that he was going to court for, saying things along the lines of, and of course I'm paraphrasing, I have a good life for 2 years, got a good job, all that. Now you ruined it. I'm never going back. I told you I'd never go back to jail, so on and so forth. You did this. This is all your fault, basically. And then, of course, we are now at the place where 6 people were emmed at the hand of this monster before he turned the gun onto himself. There's also been more information that we heard and we learned over our recent conversations, over our past past show that we did, where family members were basically saying, hey, we did not know until the very, very end that this man was a registered offender. And of course, I got to use these code words. We did not know. And apparently Holly, the wife, didn't know either until the very, very end. And it was so bad and so shocking that she questioned when she finally found out that he had a whole bunch of red flags, that he had a prison record, that he was on a list, if you catch my drift. She asked him, she confronted him, allegedly, according to Holly's family. And he said it was all one big misunderstanding. He tried to cover his tracks so much that he even paid an actor to act like the victim to have a sit down with Holly to tell her, hey, this was all one big misunderstanding. None of this is true, so on and so forth. And of course, my only pushback is you are on a very specific list. How can you be put on a list by mistake or by a pure, innocent misunderstanding? I got questions, okay? Now, according to the families, they said we were trying to do everything we could. You know, we talked about it a lot. We said our things, so on and so forth. But that was it. Near the end of March is when they found out for sure about how monstrous of a human being this person was. And then a few weeks later, we are here. We are now here at the place where 7 people are gone. And that includes the monster himself. I can get into more details. I'll go into it a little bit here. But now we have more information. And this information is absolutely shocking. Is absolutely shocking. Okay? Hold on. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I have certain things up. Okay? But let me show you guys this. And my dog is wanting is not happy about this information either. Okay, so it says footage inside Jesse McFadden's home shows items not taken as evidence by police. Now, I'm telling you right now, the information that we're about to see here in the videos and etc. are disturbing, sickening, horrifying. This was a house of absolute horror. He turned this into a dungeon, if that makes any sense. This was truly 110% a house of horrors. All these kids were terrorized for a very long time. Let me show you guys a little bit of this. Where the heck? Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Let me pull this up. That's the one. There it is. Hold on, guys. There we go. What the heck? I'm sorry, guys. The computer is, or these websites are tripping. Let me try that instead. Okay, much better. Here we go. So, video offers inside look at Oklahoma home of man accused of taking the lives of 6 and then himself. Okay, so let me just show you guys a little bit of this. Okay, so cameras captured restraints, drug paraphernalia, and toys inside the Henrietta home of Jesse McFadden. 4 victims were found in the home this week. Okay. Now, in the home, I don't know. But all we know so far, all we've known, and what they've been telling us is that the bodies have been found outside. So I don't know why they have that or said that. But let me show you what I mean. And again, this is absolutely disturbing. Sorry, commercial. Okay, here we go.
Blockbuster development. Tonight, we're following blockbuster developments in the murder-suicide case from Henrietta that shocked the state and the nation really this week.
Oh, come on. Be friendly.
5 children.
Today, News 4's Kaylee Olivas got a look inside the house where 4 of the bodies were found. She joins us now with more. Kaylee.
Well, before we even begin, we want to warn you, some of the video you're about to see is disturbing. This afternoon, News 4 was invited by Ivy Webster's family with the permission of the property owner to tour the home of Jesse McFadden. Inside was a true house of horror. Throughout the house, there were restraints, sex toys, drug paraphernalia, and evidence left behind by law enforcement.
Okay. Let me just first off, obviously T-dubs. I'm sorry, but T-dubs. But there is you see the inside of this home had restraints, had toys strewn about. Restraints and toys strewn about. And then on top of that, paraphernalia of sorts. So when you see something like that, and then we go back to the information that we received in yesterday's show, where we saw the interviews from the grandmother, the interview from the aunts, and all that stuff, it does make you wonder, how much did the family really know? How much did they not know? How much was being withheld from the family because either of the drug use or because Holly was just in her own prison? She was held against her own will, in a way, by this monster. And then on top of it, think about this. How can someone... What's even more disturbing, think about this, guys. I'm sorry. Hold on. Think about this for a second, okay? You had 2 teens that agreed to spend the night at that house, at that very house, with all that stuff out there for everyone to see. You knew for a fact they were up to no good. You knew for a fact that Jesse was totally fine with that because he wanted more, obviously, but that doesn't make any sense. You see what I'm saying? You are bringing in more kids into your house of horrors and not even batting an eye at the fact that you have restraints, chains, etc., just strewn about like that, like it's nothing. That's really disturbing, guys. Really disturbing. But then it makes you wonder, why would the girl, the daughter, the stepdaughter, agree to have them spend the night? Unless that was their way of maybe trying, maybe that was a cry for help. Maybe. I don't know, but I'm just saying. This is very quick, and I got other videos as well I'm going to show you guys here in a second, but think about it. You see what I'm saying? See, and that's what I'm thinking. That wife knew, but was it because she was in on the action? She was in on the evil? Or was she held against her will? Was she a prisoner in her own home and was just terrified? You got to look at both sides of the fence here, because I know it's easy for us to sit there and go, oh, she knew, made she rot. Did she know, though? Really? Or was she a prisoner in her own home? We have to ask those questions. And it looked like Seth, because I can't even say that word either. But it does look like paraphernalia for them crystals, for them shards, if you get what I'm saying. And don't get me wrong, yes, women can be creepy too. Absolutely 110%. But think about that. She may have been held in a way, terrified. He may have threatened her life. He may have made her life a living hell, broke her mentally to the point where she couldn't do anything. I'm just saying that could be it too. Or she was in on the action and she was just as disturbing as this man too. We got to look at both sides. Okay. Both sides, because we don't have all the evidence. We don't have all the information yet, but we do see a home in which now I can see why. Now I can see why. When the father of one of the children stepped out and spoke and said, hey, I was literally about to try to adopt them all three because they loved me more. They loved me. And I'm not the biological father to two of them. And they were still considering me dad, right? So that says to you something was up in that house for sure. And now we see this. Now we're seeing this stuff. It's very, very disgusting. It's very sickening, horrifying. And I can't believe that these young kids live through this. And then on top of that, we're willing to invite other kids to that house. Okay, I've said a bunch. Let me finish this video. It's only like a minute left.
The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation has been the lead on the case, but they had released the property and there wasn't an
Hold on, I'm rolling that back.
Active investigation as of Tuesday. McFadden. Inside was a true house of horror. Throughout the house, there were restraints, sex toys, drug paraphernalia, and evidence left behind by law enforcement. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation has been the lead on the case, but they had released the property and there wasn't an active investigation as of Tuesday afternoon. Just minutes after we entered the home with the family, victim cell phones were found along with 2 laptops. All of the evidence we saw today has now been collected by investigators. But it begs the question of why it was all left behind. We're now carefully reviewing the tremendous amount of video footage we took while inside the home, and tomorrow we'll have a full report of this unusual development.
Okay. That's another question I'd like to know. Why don't y'all keep it, like state, law enforcement, whatever. Why don't you keep it straight funky with me real quick? All right? Come through. Let's have a conversation about this real quick. Let's chop it up. Why was that kind of information? Why was that kind of evidence left behind? Oh, because the kids have perished, so it doesn't even matter anymore? So case closed? All that evidence, all of that. You're telling me that none of it matters anymore? That doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. Hold on, I'm about to pull this up because I need you guys to see this. Okay? Take a look at this. Look at these. See that where my mouse is? These are all chains screwed into a wall. Question: how do you hide that when you have somebody spending the night? I'm just curious. How? How do you hide that? Right there. When you have people coming over to spend the night. Maybe somebody can answer that to me because I want to know. And I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just calling it like it is. This just doesn't make sense. This is out in plain sight. Those 2 girls were walking into a death trap. That's all it is. Those 2 girls were walking into a death trap. Either he, I can't even believe I'm about to say this, and that is even real, or even a possibility is beyond me. But maybe he used their friend as bait. I said it. Maybe he used the daughter and knew that she had 2 friends. They're having a good old time. What if he used her as bait? I said, yeah, go ahead and invite them over. And of course, scared, out of their mind, to abide by his ruling, maybe, and said, why don't you come on over? Come on, guys, we're having a great time. Why don't you come over too? And then that stuff happened. Because again, let me say this. Let me say this quickly, or let me say this one more time. In that news clip that we just saw, things were out. Toys, paraphernalia, these chains, restraints, etc., right? All out. So he clearly used these and the stuff and the other items that I just mentioned on these people. He had to have. Why would you just have it out for everyone to see? He clearly was up to no good. Those two girls were lured into that house of horrors and lived their own personal nightmares. That's what it is. Because if they were hiding this stuff, none of this stuff would be out. You wouldn't see these chains, restraints, etc. You wouldn't see any of this. But this is an absolute evil man. This is what evil looks like, y'all. The man in the middle. Not those two innocent girls. The man right in the mother-loving middle. That is the face of pure evil. And he was out. Let me repeat that again. He was out, y'all. That piece of work was out. He served time, and yet he still was doing bad. He was still doing the things in which he was convicted and was in jail for, in prison for, while he was in prison. He wasn't rehabilitated. He didn't change. He was still soliciting-ish. He was still doing all those things. And for some odd reason, the crimes that he committed while he was behind bars slid under the radar whilst he was locked up. He was set free to con, manipulate, and destroy a family. Somebody make that make sense. You're telling me this man did a vicious, vicious crime 20 some odd years ago. And then he gets set free. But even while he's locked up, he's doing the same doggone thing that got him locked up in the first place. He fully is not rehabilitated at all, but he's let go. He's released to go out and wreak havoc on other innocent lives. He meets a woman named Holly. They get together. And allegedly, according to the family, unbeknownst to her, she doesn't even know anything about his criminal past. But then when she finally does find out, which is allegedly after they were married, so he conned her long enough to get married. That's when she asked him, oh, by the way, that doesn't make any sense. Your record now, I see your record. What's up with that? Oh, babe, that's a misunderstanding. In fact, I want you to meet the victim. And then the person that she talks to ain't even the victim herself. It is an actor that was paid by Jesse McFadden, by the monster himself. Now, let's talk about that here really quick. Let's talk about that piece a little bit. I think that's a lie. I think that's a lie. Yeah, I do. Hear me out for a second. You don't think that maybe Holly finds out or had already known about his past? Had already known about his past. Either didn't care or she was already terrified. But to cover her own tracks so she doesn't look like a bad mother. Maybe this actress doesn't even exist. Maybe it's a fabricated lie. It is a very, very bad lie that just got more and more complicated as time went on. You know, the snowball effect. It just gets more and more complicated. That could be it. Because she doesn't want to lose her kids. She doesn't want to come off like she's a P word as well, or a predator as well. So she'll sit there and say anything she can so that she not only keeps him in the clear, but also it keeps her in the clear. I know that is just a theory. But why would she say it? It feels like a very, very fabricated lie that she was using to save her own ass. That's at least what it sounds like to me. Now, I could be absolutely, completely 110% wrong. But I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Okay. Even Jennifer said the actress does exist. Okay. She called Holly's sister to apologize. That's what's up. That's what's up. But you're okay. So then, and that's fine. Yeah. Wait a second. Yeah. I was going to say it's her aunt. If you're talking about the News Nation interview, that was her actual aunt. Okay. Not her sister. Okay. But that's the thing. I'm trying to understand the actress part, because people can exaggerate and make up things. But hey, if that is actually true, if the girl called and apologized and all that, she should be catching charges because she's a part of this crime. That's what I think. Okay. But outside of that, okay, even after all that, and you saw that he's a registered such and such, she's still not side-eyeing her man. You're telling me that none of this kind of stuff wasn't already implemented in their relationship, the paraphernalia and whatnot. You're telling me none of this didn't start until a few months ago? This seems like this is something that's been going on for a while. At least that's what I think. So if she saw an actress portray the victim or not, she still saw something in her own home to prove positive that this was a very, very sick man. Nicole, this is exactly why I'm asking the question. I'll repeat that 15,000 times. I know y'all say, oh, you repeat yourself. I don't give a damn, especially with this story. You don't do things like this to kids, ever, ever. And now I want to know, why were these two girls? Why was Ivy and Brittany invited into that house of horrors? Why? This stuff was all strewn about. This was out here for everyone to see. I will say this. Say the paraphernalia wasn't there. Say the toys, you get what I'm saying, weren't there. But you can't miss that. You can't miss that as a regular person. You can't miss that. They can't hide that. You're telling me that those were in other rooms as well? You're telling me that they ain't going to see that? And go, oh, wait, something's wrong here. Something ain't right in this room. Why are there chains? No, those are not for dogs. You ain't got none. So what the hell's going on here? Type ish. And no, I don't know if they have dogs or not. I'm just saying in general. Okay? So that doesn't make any bloody sense. Why? Why were they invited to this house? unless that monster used that stepdaughter as bait to bring them in here to be a part of the torture. Exactly. Mattresses and all the others are on the floor. No bed frames. Yeah. And you got paraphernalia. You got toys just hanging out, just out there for everyone to, in the public eye. No. You don't do these things. You just don't. So that's why I'm asking, and I'm saying, please, oh please, someone out there, please, anyone who has the information, can anyone please tell us why?
A lot more to come.
Why those two girls were invited into that house? And it could be female P. It could be. It could very well be that too. It could have been they thought the dynamic duo type ish, sidekick stuff. He Batman, she Robin in the disgusting things that they did. Maybe. But maybe not. Then, let's go back to this. Let me bring back the families, the photo of the victims really quick. And I'm going to ask you guys this. Okay. Did Tiffany, Michael, or Riley ever say anything to either their biological fathers or to Tiffany's father, who we saw in an interview yesterday? Was there ever a conversation that was brought up? Did they ever say anything of Dad or, hey, I don't know his name. I forgot his name. I feel bad, but I'm just going to use Dad for now. Dad, we need your help. We're scared. This is what's going on. I'm just curious. Why wasn't there anything said during that time? And I'm not sitting here saying that it's the kids' fault. I'm not. But I'm wondering if there was ever conversation made from the kids, from that monster step kids, to their biological fathers, going, hey, Dad, I don't like being here. We need to go. Get us out of here. Because why would I forgot her name now. I feel like a jerk. Why would Tiffany's biological father come up and say, yeah, I was working on getting custody of all three of them? There had to have been something that inspired him, that motivated him to do such. Not, oh, they're in a happy place and everything's good. So, let me go and get custody of them anyway. No, it seems like something else was going on that would inspire him, motivate him to actually go through the process of trying to get full custody of all three kids. And from what I'm gathering, yes, Holly's kids are from 3 different fathers. And I'm going to pull that photo up one more again so you guys can see, because they all have different last names. Guess, Mayo, and Allen. So that's just my assumption. But from my understanding, they are from 3 different fathers. Okay? From my understanding. Okay? But let us continue. We got a video from a Twitter video. I think it was like a TikTok or like a cell phone video where the family went in to the house to basically scan the area. You know, cell phones were left in a cabinet randomly. Like, they didn't take any of this stuff. I don't get why they didn't take any of this stuff. It doesn't make any sense, guys, but let's take a look at this video.
Room where the cell phones were found.
Come on.
On the top shelf. Above that were 2 more laptops that were recovered by the sheriff's department. There was drug paraphernalia right here that was recovered by the sheriff's department. There is collars. There is lube. There is paraphernalia, handcuffs.
Looks like edibles. Yeah.
Inside this bag are more hooks and locks. None of this has been gone through. Up here on the top are duffel bags. Room where the cell phones were found.
I'll play
on the
one more
top
time.
Shelf. Above that were 2 more laptops that were recovered by the sheriff's department. There was drug paraphernalia right here that was recovered by the sheriff's department. There is collars. There is lube. There is paraphernalia.
Handcuffs. You see the handcuffs, guys? Right here. I don't know what kind of chocolate bar that is, but jacked up chocolate bar? Extreme? Hold on. Jacked up chocolate bar. I've never heard of that before in my life. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it's some THC. And his is extreme. Extreme. Hold on. Yeah, it's that special stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's that special stuff. It is THC. It is edible chocolates, which obviously is open right here. So handcuffs, you saw the toys and the lube. This is a very disturbing situation.
Handcuffs. Inside this bag are more hooks and
Water
locks.
pipe, the bong, more hooks in there.
None of this
Hold
has
on.
been gone through.
I'm rolling that back. What was that? What was
None of
that?
this has been gone through.
Hold on. Oh, so this is just glorified ibuprofen. It's just ibuprofen. What for? I don't know what he has it for.
This has been gone through. Up here on the top are duffel bags.
Woo-wee. Okay. It's just insane. Okay. Yeah, this is just insane. This is just insane. My heart breaks. And just so you know, the jacked up extreme, it was 1,000 milligrams. 1,000 milligram chocolate bar. Okay. That will destroy a human being. I don't know how anybody could even think with that much in their system. If you were to do it like that. Okay. It's yeah. This is really disturbing, guys. Hold on. There's more here. Yeah, there's just like some stills. Legacy put some of these stills up to show everyone. And I mean, like, this is disturbing. Legacy said, I can't imagine what everyone in that house were enduring, especially the kids. It's disturbing, sickening. And with the history of Jesse, I can't imagine the things he was doing when nobody was looking. Oh, I mean, yeah. It's crazy. Okay. And if there's any details about like what they, like Nene just said, a kid offered chocolate. I don't know if that is true. And if they did, I'd love to hear about that. But as you can see, the restraints, there's cuffs in the back. There's the edibles, the gel, if you get what I'm saying. I mean, it's disturbing, y'all. Of course, we already saw this piece here. Cell phones, laptops were finally, or like cell phones were finally taken. And that's the piece too that I have a problem with. It's like, okay, the kids' cell phones apparently were found in a space, in a spot. There's a lot that could be told in those cell phones that you're not bringing in. Why didn't you initially bring those pieces in? That just seems so lazy to me. Absolutely lazy to me. Sorry, I'm just looking at a few things here. There is a few things, some interviews and stuff. This is so crazy. So Brittany Brewer's father does an interview I want to share with you guys as well. And again, like I said, how did they get in this house? I don't know why they were invited in this house. Why were they invited in this house?
In your grief, do you have any more clarity about what happened and why?
Not exactly at this point.
We have spoken with Ivy's parents here at News Nation, and they said to us that they're not getting a lot of information from police and investigators. Is that true for you and your family, Nathan?
Exactly. We not really much. Only thing now that they've been saying is, how she died.
And what are they telling you?
That she died from a gunshot wound to the head.
That's hard to process.
Yes, it is.
What else are they doing right now on that property?
As far as I know, they're still doing their final searches and doing their investigation. Sorry.
So tell me about that sleepover and the teens getting together on Friday. What did you know about their plans?
They were supposed to go to Tulsa to the mall. And then while I was at work, Brittany came back and told her stepmom that they were going to go swimming, and she got her swimsuit and a towel and left again. And that was the last time she saw Brittany. And the last time I saw Brittany was on Saturday.
And tell me about that interaction, what the two of you talked about.
We had just gone to do a fundraiser for her youth camp that she was going to, supposed to be going to in this summer. And we just got done doing that. And when I came back to the house and dropped her off, and Jesse and Tiffany and Ivy were here to pick her up.
So did you know Jesse McFadden at all? What was your interaction with him?
Brittany had spent weekends with him for about 2 years. And I had met Jesse twice, and nothing had come alarming to me that he would even be, a registered sex offender or anything. And I learned all that news when I was downloading my video surveillance at my house.
Hold on. I need to rewind that a little bit because I heard something and I want to make sure I'm not crazy. Okay. I didn't take no 1,000 milligram edible. Okay. Chocolate bar edible. Okay. So I want to make sure I'm not crazy real quick. I'm rolling it back. Just if you guys could just bless me a little bit of grace. I just need to make sure that I'm not losing my doggone mind. Did he just? So they've been over at that. Hold on. Hold on. I'm rolling it back more than just a tiny bit. Okay. But what?
We had just gone to do a fundraiser for.
Come on.
For her youth camp that she was going to, supposed to be going to in this summer. And we just got done doing that. And when I came back to the house and dropped her off, and Jesse and Tiffany and Ivy were here to pick her up.
So did you know Jesse McFadden at all? What was your interaction with him?
I had, Brittany had spent weekends with him for about 2 years. And I had met Jesse twice, and nothing had come alarming to me that he would even be, you know, a registered sex offender.
You heard that, right? They've been there. They've been there multiple times before. I'm sorry. I'm rolling it back one more time. What?
With him.
I had Brittany had spent weekends with him for about 2 years.
So she spent weekends over there before, guys. So this wasn't like some. So that's the part I was like, wait a second, did I lose my mind? Am I mishearing that? So Brittany has been there before, multiple times before, and never like. But then when did the chains and the restraint? When did that all come out? When did that all get implemented in that house, installed in that house? That's the piece I'm trying to make. Say what? Yeah, Funky Gigi just said, yeah, 2 years. So she was in and out of that house for 2 years. 2 of them, y'all. Brittany. What? Okay, I'm continuing with that. That's good. That's some good information to know. So it wasn't like she just was randomly invited over to go kick it as a target. She had already been in that house multiple times before for years, and yet she never saw anything weird in that crib. Okay, and I'm not, see, like I said, I'm not trying to attack the victims. I'm not. I'm just wondering how this got brought in, because that stuff looked like that was installed in there, like those restraints and stuff. Those looked like they were there for a while. Okay.
And I had met Jesse twice, and nothing had come alarming to me that he would even be, you know, a registered sex offender or anything. And I learned all that news when I was downloading my video surveillance at my house of Brittany leaving and getting into his vehicle and his license plate number.
So you had no knowledge of his criminal past or the fact that he was due in court on child porn charges even as recently as this week?
Not at all. And that's why I have got all the information to my local legislation, and I'm going to push for the House, for at least for House and Senate, to try to pass a bill. And at least Oklahoma, I want it to go nationwide, but to be either an alert system, like a silver alert, amber alert system. When people get out that is registered sex offenders, you get a mass text of their name and what state they are registering in.
Well, and there are measures in place now, as you know, Nathan. They failed you and your family in this situation. You should have known, and you didn't. I want to talk about Brittany, a beautiful teenage girl with her life ahead of her. She has a gorgeous smile. I know she was interested and involved in pageants. Tell me about your daughter and what you want people to know about her.
She was amazing. she was outgoing. She would give her shirt off her back for anybody. She volunteered in the at church to do the nursery. She did the nursery at the church. She was the bus monitor on the bus, and all 5 of those kids rode the same bus to school back and forth every single day.
Oh boy. Okay. That's just one piece, but yeah, a database where if you were maybe subscribed to it or something like that, an app of some sort, so that anytime there's somebody that's been released in your neck of the woods, in your state, you are getting that alert, you're getting that information. I think that's a great idea. Okay. In my personal opinion, that's like an Amber Alert type of program. Just letting you know this person's been released, so on and so forth. I think that's a brilliant idea. And I feel like that's something that should have been, that's something that should be out here. It should have been out here for a long time ago. Okay. We got more though. Okay. We got an interview with a former prison cellmate. Okay. Jesse, or this monster's former prison cellmate, speaks out on Banfield. And it just talking about what Jesse was like in prison. Let's take a look at this. Okay. But let me say that again, real quick. An Amber Alert type of program would be a brilliant thing. And if that was something that could be used nationwide, I think it would save a lot of kids and a lot of people's lives. Another thing you guys are saying right now is, and I got to use these code words, that maybe this monster was brooming these, I got to use these code words, was brooming these kids for years. Sounds like it. Sounds exactly like it. Manipulating, being kind, being whatever, being the best stepdad ever, or hooking them up with righteous weed or some ish. You never know. You see what I'm saying? Just being the cool dad that goes, hey, you guys can get drunk here, okay? But you can't get drunk anywhere else. You can drink in my house, but if I find out if you're drinking somewhere else, you're gonna be in trouble. You know what I mean? Oh, if you want to try this edible, yeah, you can try it. Blah, blah, blah. Right? I'm the coolest stepdad in the world. See, I let you guys have fun and party. Go ahead and party. When he already had sinister things planned out. It's disturbing. Let's continue. Man, this is crazy.
Can you give me some insight as to the person who Jesse McFadden was, the person you knew?
Hold on, guys. Come on, dagnabbit.
So when I first met Jesse, he just seemed like a normal, clean cut, another inmate, another convict. But, as we moved in together and we shared a cell, it's about, I would say about 6 months into it, I just realized how weird he was. His conversations would always turn into sexual conversations. He was just a very awkward guy. I caught him, stalking nurses down at the medical facilities. He was just your very, very awkward, weird person.
There was some report that he had actually assaulted someone in the prison as well.
I don't know. I'm not sure about him assaulting anybody in the prison. It might have been before I knew him.
Yeah, mercy.
Okay. While you had, you say that you never were at ease, that you slept with one eye open. Tell me about that.
Oh, definitely. So about 6 months into our, living arrangement, he came out and told me that he was in prison for rape. Of course, he justified it. He gave me his side of the story, which I found out later was not true. But, at the same time, he's telling me that, his first rape offense was like statutory, I guess you would call it, like a 18-year-old and a 17-year-old girl, and her parents found out or whatever. But, you know, I'm sitting there thinking about it while he's telling me, and I'm just like, man, you don't get 20 years for that, you know, a statutory rape charge. You get 20 years for something very serious and very violent. So he knew that I knew that he was full of crap, you know? And so after that day, just the demeanor in our cell changed. And unfortunately, in Oklahoma, you can't move out of a cell. Once you're in there with somebody, you're stuck. Unless you fight them or you get in trouble, you're stuck with them. So I was stuck. And I definitely was very uneasy. You know, when you're locked in there with somebody at night, you can't get out. Nobody can hear you if you guys are fighting or you know, anything. And so I always had to look over my back. I always had to sleep with one eye open, definitely.
He was that dangerous? That's crazy, guys. And he was still saying that same thing. I mean, and I get it. There's a lot of guys in prison that will sit there and go, I didn't do nothing. I'm innocent. You know, they got an innocent man incarcerated up in this piece, man. I get it. But he was fabricating and even still trying to continue the lie. Or maybe that's when the lie started, right? But that's crazy, guys. Let's continue. This is not a good person, obviously.
Were you angry that he was let out of his sentence 3 years early, ultimately still facing similar kinds of charges of child pornography?
Well, yeah, of course. You know, we stopped being cellmates in 2015, and even throughout the rest of my incarceration, and then whenever I got out of prison, I kept up with him. I was looking on the Oklahoma State Court Network to see when he was going to have to face, you know, the charges that he got while he was at that other prison. I was, you know, looking up to see where he lived. That's how I found out him and Holly got married. I was looking up to see, you know, if he had faced these charges that he was accused of, that he was guilty of. And I saw their marriage certificate, and it just blew my mind. I don't know why they would let him out of prison, why they didn't just take him straight to county jail and await those charges.
And I know you're upset because you reached out to police to, you know, let them know that this was a registered sex offender, and it was nerve-wracking that you couldn't even see where he was registered. And then ultimately after the killings, you let them know how upset you were. The one thing that I just want to let our viewers know about is that you actually had quite a deep connection to Holly, his wife, who he just murdered, along with her 3 kids and their 2 friends. That you used to be a pen pal of hers when you were incarcerated.
What? What? So how? What? This is getting this is getting thicker than a Snicker. I'm gonna roll that back a little bit. So she was a pen pal? But see, this is where, oh my dear God. Oh my dear God. Think about this for a second, guys. What if she's known all this time? I'm sorry. But what if she knew all this time? She was pen paling him. How did she get connected with Jesse? If she was pen pals with him. Somebody make this make sense. This is getting weird, y'all. This is getting weird. Someone explain that to me. So he was pen pals with her. Okay, oh my God, I'm sorry. I need to break this down. I feel like I'm a dumb person trying to go 2 + 2 = 4, but I'm trying to make this make sense. Sorry. You got homeboy here, prison cell, former prison cell, writing letters to Holly whilst they were both locked up. He gets out 16, 17 years later, Jesse does. and he ends up marrying the pen pal, Holly. Was he writing letters to Holly, or was Holly writing letters to Jesse? She had to have known that he was locked up for some reason, right? Because it doesn't seem to make any sense. And then, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, Ashley. I guess you said it better than me, because I'm so shocked on the brr. It's impossible for her to not know. How would she not know? So that's what I mean by, oh, the actress that showed up in light. I mean, that could still be a thing. Let me play that out here for a second. I'm sorry, guys. This is weird. It's getting thicker than a Snicker. He was saying to old boy here that it was all a mistake. It was all a lie. He was saying that lie in prison. So he could have still carried that lie when he left and got with Holly. So she may have known that he was in jail for and serving time for something, but he could have been sitting there the entire time saying, I'm innocent. And I'll show you that I'm innocent, because that victim is going to sit down and talk to you and tell you that I's innocence. Maybe. And she just fell for it? Okay. She was a pen pal to his cellmate. I'm sorry. Let's go.
About is that you actually had quite a deep connection to Holly, his wife, who he just murdered, along with her 3 kids and their 2 friends. That you used to be a pen pal of hers when you were incarcerated. She told you that that she loved him. Or she told you that she loved you. And then on February 20th and February 21st, you had this text exchange with her, still as a friend, saying, hey, and she texted back, hi, how are you? And you said, doing great, finally enjoying my life. You know, I see you have a different last name. And then she says, yeah, me and Jesse got married. And you say, how are the kids? And she says, they're great and huge, LOL. So clearly you had a good relationship with her. This must be devastating, this news that not only Holly, but her 3 children are dead.
Hold on, we're gonna play that in here in a second. But do you see now that we're listening to this whole thing, and now he was her pen pal in prison, knew about Jesse as his cellmate. At one point, they said that they loved each other, the pen pal and Holly. But she ends up marrying Jesse instead. So that's why he sends her a text being like, sup, you married to my cellmate? What? Yeah, Ty, wet? Yeah, I'm really curious. I'm like, what the hell is going on? This is weird. This is very, very weird and shocking as hell. But this also proves, with throwing all the dramatics and theatricals out to the side, this shows that she could have known for sure way before they started their courtship out while he was free. This shows that she could have known everything, knowing that he was an SO, knowing what kind of person he was, etc. She still fell in love with him and was still willing to die on that hill to protect him against her family and at least one of the fathers of her children. This is insane, guys.
Yeah, I just feel like this definitely should not have happened. It definitely should have been avoided. After I had that text exchange with her, I contacted the police department where their marriage, out of the city where their marriage certificate was listed as.
Oh, he looked that up.
And of course, he wasn't on the sex offender registry, so I contacted them. I say, hey, there's an offender in your area. He's not on the registry. They say, well, the state has a public list. And I went and checked that list, couldn't find him, got back to him, said, hey, you know, this guy's a predator. He has multiple offenses, you know, just trying to warn him, just wanted to say something, you know.
Okay, so real quick, real quick. I'm gonna see if I can find the rest of this clip, but hold up. So it was right when they did do the background check. His name wasn't on the list, so that is correct. And the interesting thing is that, you know, old Rumi, of course, I'm sure he was big mad, as some of you guys said. Oh, he big mad. I'm sure he was upset, jealous, whatever. He's like, wait, I was talking to you. Now he just slid into your DMs, and now y'all all cuffed up. That's messed up, right? So he did his due diligence. He looked things up. He already knew what kind of guy he was. This is not a good guy. This is a very dangerous guy. He lived in a cell with him for a while. Said, hey, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. I need to make sure that whatever city he's in, they need to know that this man is very, very dangerous, because he's not on the list. So he didn't end up being on a list. And the thing is he served time in Oklahoma. His time served was in Oklahoma. And everything that happened was in Oklahoma. So why wasn't he on the list? So he goes, he wasn't on the list. He was not on that list. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he called and said, hey, he's not on a list. What the F is going on here? This is a very dangerous dude. That's the reason why when the family was doing their background check as well, they didn't see any red flags, because allegedly he was not actually registered. He was not actually on the list. So he was flying free. He was a free, disturbing, disgusting free agent out here, lurking in the shadows, actually in broad daylight, in plain sight. But he was supposed to be registered and he wasn't. And guess what happens? We now are at this situation. My Lord, the state done mucked this up. I said it. I don't care. The state mucked the F out of this. My Lord, hold up. We ain't done yet, guys. We ain't done yet. I'm going to see if the rest of that video is up somewhere, because that is just mind-blowingly disgusting. Yep, there's more. Let me see where I can. It was like what? 5:35. Yep. Let's pull it back just a little bit. Pen pal to McFadden's now, or to McFadden's wife. Okay, so he's like, this guy's the worst kind of dude. Jesse's the worst kind of dude. He saw what he was having with this girl, thought he was cute, thought she was cute, slid in the DMs and took the girl right from under his nose. It's messed up. And I don't know what he was locked up for. I mean, what was he locked up for? I don't know. But still, he at least knew that he was living in the same cell as evil. Okay? He was living in the same cell with evil. Okay? He knew this was a bad apple. Let's continue with this. There's about 2 more minutes left.
Know about is that you actually had quite a deep connection to Holly, that she loved him, texted back, "Hi, how are you?" And you must be devastating, this news that not only Holly, but her 3 children are dead.
Yeah, I just feel like this definitely should not have happened. It definitely should have been avoided. After I had that text exchange with her, I contacted the police department where they're married, out of the city where their marriage certificate was listed as. And of course, he wasn't on the sex offender registry. So I contacted them.
So he even looked it up. It wasn't on the registry. So when they looked him up, it wasn't a lie. When we listened to it the other day, we were all sitting there going, "Oh, that's cap. That's cap. He was hiding that." No, he wasn't on the list. He wasn't.
I say, "Hey, there's an offender in your area. He's not on the registry." They say, "Well, the state has a public list." And I went and checked that list, couldn't find him, got back to him, said, "Hey, this guy's a predator. He has multiple offenses," just trying to warn him, just wanted to say something. I couldn't say much to her because I didn't know if he read her text messages. I didn't want him to see them and hurt her, the exchanges between us. I just wanted to keep it, straight, friendly. But, when I reached out to the law enforcement and they didn't get back with me, I was just like, what the heck, man? This could have been avoided. This could have been avoided.
It's confounding. Jesse is he was a monster without question. Thank you for watching.
Okay, so he did everything he could because obviously he felt he was emotionally attached to Holly. But Holly fell in love with the wrong guy. And yeah, Raven, McCall, I give that guy mad props for going the extra mile to try to talk to whoever he needs to talk to say, hey, there's a very, very dangerous man out here that's not on a registry, which he should be on this list, and he's not. Only to find out that he was about to go back to court this past Monday. He was supposed to go back to court Monday for doing the exact same thing that he got arrested and thrown in prison for. This is crazy, guys. The system failed that family and those two teens that lost their lives. Absolutely. Still blows my mind I'm still mind blown. My mind is still blown at knowing that this is still a true story, that this is a real thing that happened here. And as much as we have talked about this, I keep wondering, what is it that we need to do? What does law enforcement need to do to prevent these kind of mistakes from happening? Because this is a huge mistake, and this is a mistake
for child sex crime.
And this kind of mistake shouldn't be existing at all. A glitch, and you got somebody who's highly volatile out in the streets. You can't allow these kinds of mistakes. You can't, because you didn't press enter or use the right punctuation or something like that. Okay. We can't allow this kind of stuff from happening. He was in prison for 16, 17 years for doing unthinkable things to minors. How did he just slide right under the radar, only to go out and do this all over again? And even worse, he took lives this time. Actually, I'm not going to play that. My bad. So, and I get it. The pen pal jail thing. I still don't. I don't get it, but I get it. Okay. But she was talking to and fell for the wrong person. But we don't really know everything about her, though, either. And there could be a past with her that could be extremely monstrous as well. But we don't know yet. We're not hearing anything about the other fathers, the biological fathers of those children. We haven't heard from the other two so far. I haven't heard from any of them in interviews or anything like that to describe or talk about how Holly was. If she was a really good person that just randomly met the worst human being on earth and or was influenced by this person, or if Holly has a history of this type of violence, this type of behavior, but it was never spoken about, we don't know. But again, you got even Brittany Brewer, father, spoke out and was like, yeah, she was going over there and spending the night. For 2 years, she was doing that. For 2 years. She came back home alive. But this time, she didn't come home. And I'm wondering why. What was up with the series of events here? Did this only happen because he was triggered at the idea of going to court? And he just said, F it, if I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory or something like that. I don't know. It just seems so crazy of how this went down. You got 6 individuals, 6 innocent lives that are gone now. And a lot of it, I don't know if we're going to get the true answer for. But now, because we've heard so much more, now we heard from a pen pal. We've seen the paraphernalia. We've seen the items. We've seen the restraints strewn all about that house. It does make you wonder, was it a duo or was this a solo act? And hopefully we get the answer very, very soon. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. That's the show. Please, guys, this is just terrible. Okay? Absolutely, absolutely terrible. I'm praying for the families and everyone that's been affected by this tragedy, because this is no joke. This is pretty crazy. There's so much evil in the world, y'all. It's so sad. It's so sad. But all I can say is we have to be very safe, very careful. We got to keep our heads on a swivel. And yeah, don't let your kids out of your sight. That's what I'll say too. We got a lot of precious lives that we need to start taking care of and keeping an eye on, period. Oklahoma has a lot of explaining to do. Okay? Law enforcement in Oklahoma has a lot of explaining to do. The people that push those things, etc., the registry, the list and all that stuff, they got a lot of explaining to do. And I see a lot of lawsuits coming for sure. Anyway, guys, again, that's the video. I appreciate all y'all for being here. If you are going and celebrating Cinco de Mayo, please do it safely, okay? Do it safely, but still have fun, okay? Do me a favor, hit that like button down below before you head out. That would really mean a lot. And of course, do not forget to crush that subscribe button. Be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. Anyway, it is time to get going, y'all. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next show. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.